In the middle of a scorching summer heatwave, an electrical substation on the edge of a major city is working at maximum capacity. Millions of air conditioners are drawing power simultaneously. The copper wires are humming, the transformers are vibrating, and the internal temperature of the equipment is climbing into the danger zone. The system has a built-in defense mechanism. When the voltage spikes past a critical threshold, if the operators don't manually shed the load, a safety device called a circuit breaker automatically trips. Instantly, the hum stops. The grid goes dark. An entire sector of the city is plunged into a blackout. The system didn't shut down because it was broken. It shut down to prevent the wires from literally melting into liquid metal. Now shift your focus from that humming electrical grid to your living room. You're in the middle of a heated argument with your partner. The volume is rising, the accusations are flying, and suddenly you feel a physical wave of heat rush up your neck. Your chest feels tight, your hands are sweating, and your ears are ringing. You can't think straight anymore. You either want to scream at the top of your lungs or slam the door and drive away. You haven't just lost the argument. Your internal grid has just suffered a catastrophic system overload. Your circuit breaker has tripped. Hold on to that feeling of physical redlining. Before I show you how to safely reset your breakers without burning down your house, we need to look at the instrument panel. We need to look at what happens to your biological hardware when logic goes completely offline. The internal diagnostic, the biological circuit breaker. Welcome back to the lab. I'm the mind mechanic. Today we are opening the hood on the physiology of conflict. If you want to step up as a high-level relationship coach, you must stop treating screaming matches as personality problems. They are thermodynamic failures of the nervous system. The psychological term for this is emotional flooding, a concept pioneered by Dr. John Gottman. In the lab, we call it a sympathetic high-voltage spike. When you are flooded, your body undergoes an involuntary automated takeover. Your heart rate pushes past 100 beats per minute. Your adrenal glands dump cortisol and adrenaline directly into your bloodstream. Your breathing becomes shallow and your blood vessels constrict. Here is the mechanical reality. When your body shifts into this high-voltage state, your brain undergoes a process called cortical inhibition. The power supply to your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic, empathy, nuance, and long-term planning, is completely cut off. The computer is dead. Only the survival backup generator is running. You are no longer capable of resolving a relationship problem because the hardware required to do so has been taken offline by your own biology. The second loop, the seized transmission. I want to tell you about a coaching client of mine named Marcus. Marcus was a highly analytical software architect, incredibly logical under pressure at work, but in his relationship with his partner Chloe, he had a dangerous glitch. Whenever Chloe would bring up a deep emotional issue, Marcus's heart rate would immediately spike. Because he hated losing control, he would try to force himself to stay in the room and argue logically. He would lean in, tighten his jaw, and try to debate his way out of the conflict using cold, robotic arguments. But his physiology was redlining. Because he refused to take a break, his system would eventually crash. He would snap, yell a brutal insult that he didn't mean, and then completely shut down, refusing to speak for 48 hours. He came to me saying, "I don't know why I lose my mind like that. I'm a rational person." I told him, "Marcus, you are trying to shift gears while your transmission is spinning at 8,000 RPMs. You're tearing the teeth right off the gears. You don't need a new argument strategy. You need a cooling system." Before I give you the exact manual override, I gave Marcus to protect his relationship from these high-voltage burnouts. Let's look at the diagnostics of a system on the verge of melting down. The calibration. 3. Warning signs of an imminent overload. 1. The heart rate red line. This is the ultimate biometric indicator. If you feel your pulse racing or your chest thumping, your system is entering a high-voltage state. Once your heart rate crosses that 100 BPM threshold, your capacity for objective reasoning drops by 80%. Your instruments are lying to you. You are no longer safe to operate the vehicle. 2. Tunnel vision and auditory exclusion. When flooding takes over, your body prepares for physical combat. Your visual field narrows, and your hearing actually changes frequency to listen for threats. If you notice that you can no longer truly hear the tone of your partner's voice, or if they look like an enemy rather than your teammate, The circuit breaker is about to trip. 3. The urge to destroy or disappear. If your primary impulse shifts from, "How do we fix this?" to "How do I hurt them back?" or "I need to escape right now," you are in pure fight or flight mode. Any words that exit your mouth in this state are corrupted data. They will only cause damage to the connection infrastructure. The 7-step manual override, resetting the breakers. To manage emotional flooding, you must treat it as a physical emergency, not a conversational one. Here is the precision protocol to cool down the engine before it seizes. 1. Call a system timeout. The moment either partner notices a red line indicator, they must use an agreed-upon code word or phrase. Marcus and Chloe used the phrase system overload. This is an unarguable structural boundary. It means the conversation stops instantly. No final remarks, no parting shots. The grid is powered down. 2. Set a strict cooling window. A timeout without a return time is just abandonment. When you call a timeout, you must state exactly when you will return to the dashboard. The minimum time required for human biology to clear adrenaline from the system is 20 minutes. Say, "My system is overloaded right now. I need to step away to cool down, but I will meet you back here in 30 minutes to look at this together." 3. Disengage the cognitive processor. During your 30-minute cooling window, do not sit in your car rehashing the argument. Do not review your mental ledger or plan your next defensive comeback. If you do, you will keep pumping adrenaline into the circuit, and your system will remain flooded. You must completely distract your processor. Go for a walk, listen to music, or do something tactile. 4. Run the physiological psi firmware. To manually lower your heart rate, use the neurology-physiology connection. Take 2 deep, quick inhales through your nose, followed by a long, slow exhale through your mouth. Do this 5 times. This specific breathing pattern activates the parasympathetic nervous system, sending a direct command to your heart to slow down and bring your prefrontal cortex back online. Audit the core fear. While your system is cooling down, look at the underlying diagnostic code. Ask yourself, why did I redline? What was the actual threat? Usually you will find an ancient script running in the background. Anxious hardware will realize, I felt flooded because I was afraid they were going to leave me. Avoidant hardware will realize, I felt flooded because I felt trapped and incompetent. Identify the bug. Re-enter the cockpit with a status report. When the cooling window expires, return to your partner as a co-mechanic. Start by delivering a clean status report of your own internal settings. Do not talk about what they did. Say, my heart rate is back down now and my brain is online. I realize I got deeply triggered because I felt unseen when you looked at your phone. Execute the microload strategy. Do not try to process the entire conflict at once. Break the data down into microloads. Deal with one small circuit before moving to the next. If the system starts to heat up again, call another timeout. It is better to take 3 separate sessions to fix a problem cleanly than to have one massive explosion that damages the hardware permanently. Closing the loop. Rewiring the substation. So how did we fix the wiring for Marcus and Chloe? We installed the system timeout protocol as an absolute structural rule in their household. The next time Chloe brought up a heavy emotional topic, Marcus felt his chest tighten. But instead of forcing his way through the argument and stripping his gears, he looked at her and said, "System overload. I need 30 minutes to cool down so I can give you my full brain." He went upstairs, used the physiological psi to drop his heart rate back to baseline, and identified his internal bug. He was terrified of letting her down. When he came back down 30 minutes later, his prefrontal cortex was fully online. He didn't debate her. He looked at her and said, "I'm sorry I locked up. I'm ready to listen now." The conversation that used to take 3 days of bitter silence to recover from was completely resolved in 15 clean minutes. Summary of the calibration. You cannot repair a machine while it is actively on fire. Today we performed a deep diagnostic on emotional flooding. We broke down the neurology of cortical inhibition and the physiology of the sympathetic spike. We installed the system timeout protocol and learned how to clear the adrenaline lines. If your relationship arguments consistently turn into high-voltage blow-ups that leave you completely exhausted, stop trying to talk your way out of it. Fix your physiology first. This is the precise tactical work we do inside my private one-on-one coaching lab. Let's get your internal breakers functioning correctly. I'll see you in the next session.